What's up, traders? 7-Star Mike here for the new Trade Talk Media, where we help retail traders simplify trading and increase their profits. If that sounds like something fun for you, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of the exciting content I've got coming your way. There's lots of it planned. Today, I want to show you guys some chart setups. Now, I like to call these either way plays. Since we can't see the future, I like to find setups that could go either way, but it's a low risk entry regardless of what direction it actually goes. And when I show you some of these charts, you'll see what I mean. They're typically sitting right on a support or resistance line. And if we open green, we can take a call position and we're going to close it out if it dips below that line. And if we open red, we're going to take a put position and we're going to close it out if it pops above that line. So depending on how the market opens, it doesn't matter whether it's up or down, there's a potential trade to take for these tickers. Those are the setups that I like. Let's go look at some charts and I'll explain exactly what I'm looking for and why I like these tickers. So let's keep these short and sweet. Let's start with MA. You can see the low point Friday was the low point back on 615 also. Same area there. It might not be to the penny, but it's close enough. Back in September, we had trouble getting over that spot. From November through December, we consolidated in that area. We took a pause over here for a little bit. We finally punched through, came back to that level, acted as support, held. We're right back there. So the reason I call these either way plays is because we have a trade in either direction. Let's say we open Monday with a green day and we open somewhere up here. What we want to see is a run back towards this level or any other resistance level that might be between here and there. So we're going to open a call position. If it comes back down to test this level and holds, we're good. If it breaks this level, we're going to get out. The reason these plays don't hurt you so much is because we're getting in as close to this area as possible. So if it goes against us, we're actually getting out as close as possible to that same area. So even though it would lose money, it's not going to lose a whole lot because our entry and exit are really close to each other. And we're going to know right away if we're wrong, because if we're getting in somewhere up here and this level breaks as support, we know we're wrong. Our trade idea was invalidated. We exit the trade. So we're looking at this 288.75 area, and we're going to watch and see if this holds as support where we can get some calls, or if we open below and we might want to get some puts. If we do get some puts, what we would want to see is a pop up to this level, have this level hold as a new resistance, and then resume its downward move. So 288.75 for MA, that's an area that I'm going to be watching there. Next one, Lulu. Same idea here. We had prior support here for 2 days, and we're right back at that level. So you can see this level was support here, and it was support again, but it's looking pretty weak. We're on a pretty good downtrend here. So this is the 288.61 area. Again, it's not necessarily a specific level. It could be a zone. It could be that exact level. Doesn't have to be though. So as long as we're looking at this upper to mid 288 area as support, we're going to take the same concept Monday. If it opens above, we're going to use that as our stop loss. So we're going to open a call position, and if we break below that level, we can close it out. If we have a red day, we're going to open a put position, and if it pops above that level, we're going to close that out. So again, another either way play because we're right on a support and resistance level. So regardless of what happens Monday, we can take a trade with this ticker. Now, people always ask, hey, I'm looking at this ticker. What do you think it'll do Monday? The thing is, no one knows. We can't see the future. So I like these trades where we're right on a support resistance line because regardless of whether it opens green or red, there's still a trade to take with a low risk because we're going to know right away if our trade idea is invalidated. It's going to pop up or below a line that we're looking at, which is where we got in. So we're going to be able to get out just as close to that line as we got in. Two more that I want to show you guys. This is DE. John Deere. You can see over here we had some support. We did break through it, but we couldn't stay below that level. That same area became resistance, and then it was support, support, support. So again, 148.12. You can see how that area held as support. I'm going to be watching that level on Monday to see whether or not this holds as support again, and if we bounce up and we can run upwards. If it doesn't hold as support, I'm good opening a put position. And again, what I would like to see is maybe drop, come back to test this level, hold as a new resistance, and then resume its downward trend. So 148.12, again, that's close enough to 148. So if we get a little bit of a dip below that level, I'm not too concerned about jumping in right away. But I want to see this 148 area, see what it does on Monday, whether we open above or below. And we have a trade that we can take in either direction, again, with a low risk entry. And one more, EXPE. This one's not perfect here, but we had a kind of support area in that level. Little bit of resistance here. It didn't quite get up there, but this is the day I drew that line on 6/11. We have some support there, and then we bounced. Look at this on Friday. We closed right at that level. If we zoom in, here's where we drew the line, 6/11. Here's where we stopped on Friday. So same idea. If we open green, I want to see it somewhere up here, and this level hold as support and run upwards. If we have a red day Monday, I want to see it open below. If it pops, I want to see it pop to this level and reject and continue downwards. So I like these trades just because we have a low risk entry for whatever direction it opens on Monday. Now, something to consider. Let's say we gap up or gap down. So this particular one is 77.30 is the area I'm looking for. Let's say we've somehow had a gap up and it opened way up here. That's not necessarily something I would jump into calls for. It might be a call situation depending on how it looks, but typically if we were to gap up, I might want to see a little bit of a pullback before entering. Because what you don't want to see is it's 77.30 here. If it gaps up, let's say it gapped up to 81, and I'm not saying it'll do this, I'm just using kind of random numbers wherever the cursor happens to be. So let's say it gapped up to 81.33, and we open a call position. What I wouldn't want to see is it drop $3 or $4 back to test this level to see if it's going to hold. That's making the entry a little bit riskier because we have to be willing to let it ride all the way back down here to see if it's going to test as support. Same thing in the other direction. Let's say we gap down. And let's say we open somewhere down here. Let's say just $2. It's 77.30 is this area here. Let's say we open at 75. Again, if I'm opening a put position, that's going to be a little bit riskier because to test this level of support, I have to be willing to let it go against me for $2.30. So it makes the risk a little bit higher, not necessarily one I would be willing to take. But if we had a market dump off, and we gapped down and everything was just looking like it was just going to continue to sell off the whole day, that might be a situation where I would get puts right away. So part of it is just experience and knowing how the market looks and the feel of the market, whether we're going to get a complete sell-off or if we're just going to drop a little bit and then resume an upward trend. That just comes with seat time and experience. But I like these plays where they're right on a support resistance line because we can get in regardless of whether the market opens red or green. I can't see the future. I don't know if it's going to be a green day or a red day. So I have a trade where I can take a trade in either direction regardless of how we open on Monday. And because I'm in right at this support resistance level, if the trade turns against me, low risk entry because I can get out just as close to that entry as I got in. So there's 4 tickers for you to look at. If you didn't have anything on the radar, play around with those charts, see if you like something in there, see if this setup works for you. Keep an eye on them Monday, see how we open up, and maybe there's a trade in one of those tickers for you. Thanks for watching. Let's go get those greens on Monday.